become real personal. She wouldn't let me do anything alone. Hey, I didn't want to be alone. That's okay. Hitler. Hell can give you belief. Coming back. Huh. I swore. I said like, fuck, you're out. You're done. You're done. I'm gonna get cancelled from the first fucking video. No, this is actually quite good. Okay. Okay. Call me crazy. I had a lot of ideas I think can be talked about. They're not revolutionary ideas, perking up their ears and all that kind of stuff, but it's more like my point of view. The most interesting one, what if we can change our past? Think about that. What if you can change your past? What would you have changed? What would you have went back and to a certain conversation that you were with a person to change the direction that the conversation went or the outcome of that conversation? Would you have done that? But at the same time, if you do change your past, does it really change accordingly to the way that you want it? In itself, our desires and our hopes for how it's supposed to change, it is never quite the way that we imagine it. However, for me, to change one's past, we can talk about from the perspective of the butterfly effect. The small changes of the past can lead to vastly different outcomes, and that is completely true. If you decided to eat today like Taco Bell, you know that in a couple of hours, the situation in the toilet is gonna be just, you're gonna deal with the consequences. However, if you chose to eat a salad and be a healthy gal, that's a whole complete different story. So that's the difference. That's the vast difference. Ugh. My thoughts are going a mile an hour. That fast, huh? She's a sleepy gal. Just think about it. Choices, for example, like if Hitler back in the day, he went to the art school where he got rejected, right? If he decided to actually go there and he got accepted, now that the decision the university would have made probably would have ended with not having a World War II because he became a dictator after he got rejected. Sure, there are other explanations to why he was so passionate about the way that what he was doing. However, many people do say that it's one of the turning points. That he was like, that's enough. I have now too much free time. I'm not gonna try anymore. Y'all are ass, and I will show you whose ass I'm owning. There is always this question that people ask you. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a dinner with one of like celebrity of the, or like some historical figure, Hitler, hit me up. Okay, whoa. Sure, he wrote a book explaining, but I feel like it's because of the results of the past. The past built him. We're coming back. You see, the past decisions, lessons have led him to where he was. So our past in itself defines who we are, but it defines in a way, it can only mean it's bad if you didn't learn the lesson. If you did not learn the lesson, that just means you will encounter the same lesson again and again, only up until the point you realize that like, oh, this is bad for me, I should not be doing this, or this is bad for my image, I should not be doing this. Everyone have like a persevered quality of themselves. They should be a certain way. And it can be the influence of the closed ones, from the environment that you're living in, the culture, the religion. A lot of that actually comes down to looking at your self-worth as well. More like restrictive, let's say religion, your thought process is a little bit narrower. No offense. What I'm trying to say, the freer you are from certain qualities of external beliefs rather than your internal beliefs, like you can be religious, but also you can understand your limits to where you take that religion. Like me personally, I'm sorry, I am not religious. I am a person that religion itself, it was created to control the masses. And it gives a sense of purpose for people that cannot find that sense of purpose. I understand it. And that's totally fine. You can be religious, but don't just push it down my throat. I don't need you to tell me, oh, you should be finding God. Like, bro, there is different ways of you to find a belief system. There's so many different ways that you can, hell, a dog can give you belief. Because even in psychology, right, it does prove that environment affects the way that we think, that we behave, that we make decisions even in the later life. How we focus more on individualistic societies. What's the other one? collectivist. Yes. As it says here, individualistic societies, they emphasize on personal freedom, independence, and self-expression. However, on collectivist societies, it emphasizes on group harmony, family, and community over the self. Coming back to the topic of Hitler, he wanted to show his own self-expression through his art. He didn't get that. He got annoyed. He was like, no, I have self-expression in this, so I am going to express myself in a more extremist way. That was his choice. I do know that his dad did not like him. He used to beat him quite frequently. That's okay. A beating or two helps the child to realize it's not even abuse. Bro, show me respect. Now let's think about personal changes in that matter, okay? School choices. Personal experience. I grew up in China and I went to Chinese school. That was the choice of my parents to put me in that education. Great, fantastic, opportunities. If they put me in a Russian system, I would not have been knowing Chinese. Then afterwards, my dad decided that he wants to put me into an international system, into a British school. Did not know how to take it. Like, I was like, damn, I'm gonna go to a British system? I'm gonna speak English? Bear in mind, I did not speak English. My English level was at hello, how are you? I remember the first day at the assembly, I was lost. I did not understand a single thing that was coming out of the principal's mouth. I did not understand what was going on. Yes. Anyways, so the choice of going to the British system was another win. I got a British education. Like, I got to be with international students. I got a lot more knowledgeable about the other cultures, how people interact, how minds work, how conversations are just completely built differently when it comes to different cultures and different people. If you were to be talking within one culture and one society, then you kind of see the fact that the way that you express yourself, it's a little bit small-minded because you don't really understand the scope of things that can be going around you. If I were to go back in the past and change that and to continue, for example, going to a Chinese school, I wouldn't change that. Now, you might say, where will you be using any of the humanitarians, like English literature, English linguistics, or like history? Especially like history. History is just like you're learning about the past. You can't change the past. It just happened. And what are you gonna do? Learn from the past mistakes. You see? You see, that's what it is there for people to know what to not to do, but they still do it because history repeats itself. It don't matter because some people are just too ambitious. Coming back to the topic of Hitler, he had ADHD and he was prescribed Adderall all the time and he was hyper focused. So that just shows not every single person should be prescribed Adderall when they have ADHD. No, you should not let them be that focused and because they become unstoppable. Lesson learned. Would I change my, let's say at this point, my parents' choices where they put me? Would I want them to change the choices of how they have brought me up into this world with the opportunities that it had opened up for me and the opportunities that it gave? Absolutely not. I would love it. Would I change my personal approaches to friendships or to relationships? Yes. But then if I changed it, I would not have understood what's good for me and what's not. Because with each friendship, with each relationship that you're in, it's always you're taking away a lesson. You're taking away from next time I should be looking out for this. If I find out that they're talking behind my back, you don't just sit there and be quiet about it. You go up to them and you ask them. Say like, hey, I heard this. Like, can we confirm? I have this person that's been telling me, can we all meet up and speak about this? Because I don't understand where all of this is coming from. Yeah, if it was me back in the day, I would just hear it and be like, okay, and be upset about it and go cry in my room. You're not fighting for yourself that way. You're letting other people disrespect you. When it comes to like relationships, when you realize that one person is disrespecting you in the way that they're not hearing you, they're not willing to communicate, they're not willing to change for the better because what they're doing is inevitably hurting themselves and the relationship, then you can't change the person if they don't realize it themselves. And you need to learn that from the very beginning. If the person wants to change for the better and you tell them that it will be good for them, like with actual good intentions, there are people that want to change someone for the way of their liking. That means you are not with the person that you want. You are trying to shape them into what's something that you want. And that's not ideal because they will be pretending of someone that they're not. You cannot let other people change, like you cannot mold them into someone else. You're not a dictator. If you're trying to mold someone with intimidation, manipulation, and gaslighting, then you are... No. No. That person will never love you. That person will never do anything right for you because you are telling them that everything is wrong. The self-worth is beneath the ground. You're using the shovel to create more space for yourself. To which in the end, you're gonna lay there and be like, how did I end up there? Well, you dug it yourself because you were not hearing yourself. You look into the mirror and then you're like, who am I? And you don't know anymore. You don't recognize yourself anymore. As I said, would I change it? No. I learned how I want to be treated. I learned what kind of person I want to be next to me. I learned what kind of people I should be calling friends and what kind of people I should be calling acquaintances. I stopped calling a lot of people as friends and just merely as acquaintances because that one time a month kind of meetup within a friend group does not make you a friend. You can call someone a friend or a best friend. It is when they wish the best for you. And being friends with them is not a competition, but rather like a union. True communist. What I have changed in the way that I was approaching life before, in the sense that like how I saw life in a more negative light, and that was just like my personal not understanding of my own personal emotions. And because of that, I had this inner, like resentment, I was suppressing a lot of emotions, not understanding why I was feeling the way that I was. And once I started to study psychology, like my main choice for studying psychology is because I wanted to help myself. It wasn't for the career choice. At first, maybe a little bit, but then like it changed to the primary aspect that I wanted to focus on and trying to understand myself, because digging into the aspect of psychology gives you the opportunity to learn how you can cope and learn different aspects of how people cope, let's say. A great experience. My mental health and my mental state have greatly changed and impacted me in a very positive way. I was able to get raw with myself, get really into the understanding of why I have this certain resentment, why I have this certain feeling, why do I feel sad, why do I feel angry. Once I started to ask myself questions, note it down, and analyze myself without like a self-pity or a biased way, there are certain aspects that just I was not letting go. And a lot of the times about the past is you need to let go. It's in the past. You cannot change it. You can take something from it, even if it's, let's say, painful, because naturally you wouldn't want to take something painful with you. But that's when you allow yourself to be free. That's when you allow yourself to live in the present. Because if you decide to ignore it and not acknowledge it, it's just gonna be a little child that is in the corner, and it's the more you ignore it, the louder it starts to cry. And that's the whole idea of it. Like, you have to acknowledge your past. Yes, this had happened. Yes, it wasn't the best, but it happened. This is not you right now. Let it go. If you have learned your lesson and if you're not that person anymore, that's all that matters. You have to stay true to yourself. You have to ask yourself, was this experience a lesson to me, or was it trying to show me something? Was it trying to show me a different perspective of things? Was I not attentive enough? Was I ignorant? And you have to really look at the whole aspects of those things. Because of that, a lot of the people tend to live in the past, is that they ignore to take away a lesson from it. Yeah. Learn from it. I don't think past should be changed. If you look at the standpoint of like personal growth, our regrets and mistakes shape our identity. All these experiences that we have, they shape us to be stronger, to be more resilient, to be smarter, to be more intelligent, and also it gives you the opportunity to just take some memories from it. Let me get into something that is, let's say, controversial, but I believe strongly, okay? So if we speak about personal growth, we have the choice of taking action, going out to take experiences, talking to people, putting yourself out there, trying to learn something from it, because we learn the best from experiencing something, not only just by like watching a YouTube video or watching a documentary. Like, we do take something from it, but it's not going to ingrain that much in your brain like it would if you were to experience it firsthand. And the people that go into the section of self-help books, okay, I'm a person that learns psychology, right? Studies psychology. Now, that is not self-help. That is educational. That is something that you can learn and apply. A lot of the self-help books are written by people that already have everything together. They have learned through experiences by doing something. They didn't sit down and read a book and all of a sudden they understand what they should be doing. It's a surface level. Yes, it can nudge you in a direction, but it's not a guide. And there's people that buy not one, not two, like they buy like 10 self-help books and then they're like, oh, this is going to change my life. No, it will not. It will only make you spend money and give that money to the people that are taking advantage of you of your weakness. Do you understand that you are giving money to the people that are taking advantage for the fact that you're feeling shit? Like, I truly think that way. And it's from personal experience. Again, would I change that? No, because I learned the fact that's not the way that you do it. Before that, when I was like in a really bad state of mind, I was like, there are self-help books that I should be probably like buying and seeing and reading and then trying to figure out what the hell is actually wrong. I could not apply anything from it. It was so superficial. Wake up at this hour of the day. Do this. You should write a list. You should do that. You should do this. Because I wake up at this hour. Because I do this. Who are you? No, seriously, who are you? You are successful because you had certain life opportunities that you took. Not because you wake up and you drink a latte in the morning or a soda vodka in the morning. That's not the reason. The reason is that you went out there and you had the opportunity to meet the people and have those experiences. Yes, maybe even writing this book, maybe someone else had helped you to write it. There's like editors, proofreaders. You think that they would let your work out there straight away? No, they wouldn't, because they would think like, oh, the public would accept it this way more. One-sided opinion of self-help books is exactly the same. It's not scientifically based that you should be doing one way or another. You should be learning from yourself, from putting yourself into an uncomfortable situation. And I'm not talking about like going out in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. while there's maniacs and everything. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's like going to a social event, going to a restaurant alone. You never know who's going to be sitting at the restaurant. You never know who's going to be sitting at the cafe. Who said that you should not be taking that opportunity to sit down with yourself and with your thoughts and maybe with your notebook or your book, not self-help book, but sitting down and having those moments for yourself and then maybe having that opportunity to meet someone, to get out there. Yes, there are people that are more introverted. I understand. I used to be really afraid to even go out and eat by myself somewhere. But this is something that you have to learn. If it's not you that's going to help yourself, nobody else will. You have to have yourself. You have to know that you are the only person that is going to be there for you. Not even your family, let alone friends. When you're going to be dying, who is going to be next to you? Let's pray that there is going to be someone next to you. This is why you need to learn, acknowledge when you're going to be in your lowest point of your life. You are going to be the one that is trying to kick yourself back up to try to do the right thing for yourself, trying to encourage yourself. Nobody else. If you cannot convince yourself, then it will not work. People that actually lose weight, it's not because someone said that you're fat. It's not because of this. It's that you have convinced yourself that you needed to do it. Everybody else's opinion, it comes, it hits you hard, and then it fades because lives comes in a way. You forget about it. Yes, it comes in waves. However, it's not something that you are consistently in. That's why there's delusions. You believe you're a certain way. You're deluding yourself. You're delulu. However, self-help books, that crowd, I would not recommend. My personal opinion. I'm not someone that is telling you, hey, don't do it. I strongly do not advise it, let's say. It's like there's the iceberg of things, and it's like at the very top of that. You know, it's not even, it will not do anything. You know, it will not. She will agree. Yes, you're in a low. Life's hit you. It gave you that uppercut with the elbow. But would you be that person? Would you be that person that you are today without the uppercut and the elbow hit? Next time you will know to dodge it. You will know that, not this time. That's what I'm talking about. If you are trying to avoid a certain event, certain situation, sooner or later, it's still going to come and teach you a lesson. Hold up. There's different ways in the way that you can indulge yourself to learn more about yourself. But would you change your past? I personally wouldn't, because I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be me right now. I would be someone else. I would not be true to myself. But at the end of the day, you do take a lesson from it. And that's what that matters. And you were with me, Lilith Dweller. I don't know. I just dwell here.